It started when these three TD Bank employees told Go Public they had to upsell customers to meet sales targets and keep their jobs.
Customers deserve to know what's being done to them at their institution.
Soon, more than 3,000 current and former employees from all the big banks had written, describing a high-pressure sales culture.
She asked us to not disclose interest rates, to hide interest rates, and to manipulate or lie about market conditions on investments.
The banking regulator promised to conduct a mystery shopper survey, the first of its kind in Canada. It sent people posing as customers into more than 700 branches across the country. A key finding, 32% of secret shoppers who identified as visible minority or Indigenous were pitched overdraft protection with monthly fees and accrued interest, almost double other shoppers. 13% were offered credit card balance protection insurance, which often doesn't pay out, much higher than other shoppers.
They're making this assumption that Black, racialized, and Indigenous people are more likely to default or overextend themselves. And those kinds of assumptions are very worrying to me with those two product lines. And I think that report, we have every reason to be very concerned about what banks are doing.
Shoppers also reported a big push on premium credit cards with higher fees that typically require a minimum income. But in 80% of cases, customers were not asked about their income.
One way to get more customers to buy a very costly premium credit card or to pay for checking accounts that are quite dear in cost is to avoid asking questions about income thresholds and their spending habits. Because once they go down that line, then they have the obligation not to offer those product lines. So one way to avoid doing that is by not asking those kinds of questions.
Banks are going to push people to the highest cost items, even if they don't need it, because they make more profits that way.
The regulator says more can be done by banks to protect customers from concerning sales practices, like ensuring frontline staff are effectively trained.
We should actually be thinking about why is it that there is so much pressure for them to sell? That it actually compromises the bank's integrity and commitment to taking care of the financial health of Canadians.
New rules for the banks come into effect at the end of this month in an attempt to make sure customers are only offered products and services they need. Meantime, we continue to hear from bank employees who say the pressure to sell remains strong. Erica Johnson, CBC News, Vancouver.